I call it a season-saving win for the Timberwolves last night. Pat, what would you call it?
I would say it certainly lowered the angst level, and once again, they drew to this formula that seems to work in basketball, which is if you make shots, you look pretty good, right? They made 65% of their shots.
Yes,
you look damn good when you make 65% of your shots. I said on Twitter that it was a humiliating performance because they didn't have any offensive rebounds. And the team played very selfish by making all of their shots. But,
they are, I believe I saw it's the fourth time in NBA history since they've tracked offensive rebounds that a team did not have an offensive rebound.
But you know what? It's a good thing when there are only 25 of them or so to be had. That means it's a good night. They made shots, came out and made them right away. Ant, of course, was red hot on the threes. But I thought it was also an optimistic sign that McDaniels joined the party because he hasn't been that good this year. And he had a good game. I like him a lot, but he struggled a lot early last year, getting in foul trouble and stuff, and then kind of got rolling. But him playing like that worked too. And somebody convinced him to get back on defense and not let the Spurs beat him down the floor. But again, it's hard to beat a team down the floor whether you're taking the ball out of the basket instead of rebounding it. So it was.
We got some clarity, by the way, after the game. So, Kat went on that weird tangent about Anthony Edwards eating too much Popeye's chicken a couple nights ago and how y'all think it's funny or whatever. And I had actually checked with a couple people that would know and said, is this a thing behind the scenes that just kind of boiled over? And the response I got back was, Ant's in the best shape of his life. This just feels like a weird Carl comment. And then somebody asked Anthony Edwards after the game, hey, Jace Frederick did. What did you make of those comments by Kat? And he kind of said, whatever. Like, he goes, I haven't eaten Popeyes in a couple of years. I love how Ant just kind of like, I'm just going to go score 34. I don't care.
I'm not.
This idiot over here can keep babbling.
Get into that. I think he has a loosey-goosey view of life, and Anthony, which occasionally we have found out will get him into trouble. But the fact that he's not going to turn something into a big feud means he's a lot more mature than the guy who said it, right? So anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, now let's see if, you're not going to make shots like – what did they make? 10 out of their first 11 threes or some damn thing like
something
that.
They wound up like 60% from three last night too. Anthony Edwards 7 of 12, Jaden McDaniels 4 of 5 from 3-point range, and Jalen Noel is just that guy's going to get paid in about 6 months by somebody.
They got to pay him. That was why the other night when I'm watching overtime and they can't score any points, why is he sitting on the bench? Get him out there. When you need emergency baskets to put you got 5 minutes to put pressure on the other team. Get him on the floor. Figure out, even if it means figuring out a way not to have D'Angelo on the floor. Get this guy on the floor. He can go get you a basket.
That's a key thing, right? Like they probably are trying to work around D'Lo's feelings, but at some point in time, you can't care that much.
No, and. They did a little bit. Didn't they do a little bit last year when Anthony would not become the point guard as such, but would have the ball in his hands a lot more, and to the point you didn't need D'Lo on the court. But hey, now they get to play The Walking Dead on Friday night, so it will be interesting to see if they can lose. They got hammered at home. That was at Denver last night. But
it was in Denver.
They were ahead for a while, and then Denver just
no Westbrook, right?
Beat him up.
No Westbrook. I don't know if you want him to play or not tomorrow.
That should be an advantage. Not having Westbrook. Didn't I tell you? I told Judd, or I think I mentioned the other day that I listened to this whole anti-Westbrook tirade on NBA radio, including the fact that he gets guarded less on jump shots than anybody in NBA history. 42% of the time, they don't bother to guard him, or something like that. It's or only 42% of the time that he takes a jump shot, does anybody guard him? They're saying, come on, baby, come on. Right about there, you're good. Fire her up, Russell. Russell, you're on our side. How they, what's great though is LeBron talking about the bad mix of players they have now and blah. We don't have any. You're the one that said get these guys.
Correct.
LeBron. So
they had a trade on the table for sniper shooters like Buddy Hield and a couple other guys. And LeBron said, no. Let's go get Westbrook. Didn't they bring in Rajon Rondo last year too?
Oh yeah, Rondo was there.
And Anthony Davis has any player fallen off a cliff in terms of where he ranked like 3 years ago?
Yes.
Versus now, he just sits outside and clanks threes for 2 hours now. It's super weird.
He's been injured to some degree, but it's like his attitude has been he was getting paid, but once he got really, really paid, it's like, who cares? He just, he went out there and he was going to win titles. They won the title in the pandemic, though. In the middle,
they did. They won the bubble championship.
They won that was 2020, right?
Yeah.
How'd they get to here? 2 years. It's amazing how bad they are. But that's kind of fun to see. I wrote a piece today. The Lakers are retiring George Mikan's 99 on Sunday night. The Mikan family, which has had some issues among the siblings and other things, are going to be out there pretty much in force to watch this ceremony. But the excitement for George finally having his number 99 retired is kind of diminished when I found out the next guy they've already announced they're going to retire his number for is Pau Gasol. How can he be retired as a Lakers number?
Yeah,
I mean, he was a good sidekick for a couple championships.
7 years, but you can't retire Pau Gasol's number for God's sake.
The Kobe relationship plays a big factor there.
Huh?
The Kobe relationship. He's best friends with Kobe. They think they have to honor it.
Did you hear the bulletin? Kobe's dead. Did you know that? What you got to be like your best, one of your two best players, right?
Okay, let me ask you this: do they win those championships without Pau Gasol?
No,
they do not.
No,
yeah, but I don't know. You got to be an identifiable star of the franchise. You can't just randomly, but they like
a Mikko Koivu type is what you're talking about.
Yeah, just a real identifiable guy who just has a great career.
Have we done that yet? We did that last year, right?
Yeah, I see it every time now. At the X, I'm so proud. That and the number one because you fans who lost the North
I knew
Stars.
This would
great
set Judd
work.
off. I knew this would set Judd off.
There's desperation when you've been in business for 20-some years and you need a number to retire, man, beyond the fans who you retired before the first game. So, it's.
Didn't the Seahawks retire number 12 too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, they retired the 12.
Yeah, which they ripped off from the Wild.
Lewicki
went out there and ripped off the whole playbook.
That's genius.
The whole suck-up playbook was
ripped
ripped
Kraken,
off.
I should go down the street. Have the Kraken retired a number yet? Because wasn't he
Yes.
running marketing
Yes.
for
I
the
think they did,
Yes,
Bill.
32. They did.
They did.
Opening night. I'm telling you, the playbook's the playbook.
What is 32?
The 32nd franchise.
And it was the amount of time
that
they like sold all the season tickets.
Which is BS, but
of course,
good thing to.
Yeah, no,
in 32 minutes or
can't
seconds?
You can't argue with the playbook with the Wild. It's the greatest marketing
you're right.
kickoff. I mean, the Timberwolves had it and lost it. They had half the young geniuses in marketing there when they first started, and they filled the dome. And then all of a sudden, this isn't like hockey. When you stink, you can still end up, getting a tie, or if you're on a 4-game homestand and you stink, you might get a win and a tie. If you're a rotten basketball team, you're going to go 15-67. You're going to be unwatchable.
Yep.
And that's what happened to the Timberwolves by year 3 in the Target Center. The upstairs was empty. So
if the Twins go a couple more years without winning a playoff game, I think you got to retire the number 20, don't you? 20 years between playoff game wins.
Or
hang the banner.
Or what will be the last playoff? Well, the winning the playoff series in in 2002. We didn't bring them back for the 20-year anniversary this year. We brought them back for the, didn't we bring the 2000?
We did the 10 for sure, didn't we?
We did the 10. We didn't have we were too embarrassed to bring them back for the 20. We didn't do that.
We're getting the uniforms pretty soon, though, I think. The new branding is.
I'm hearing scary things, by the way. Twitter, if the Twitter leaks are correct, I'm not sure how we're going to feel about this.
What is it? What kind of changes are we talking about?
There's rumors of a star involved. There's a lot of scuttlebutt that scares me.
A star, huh?
About letting a star go?
No, about a star in the uniform, incorporated, like the North Star star.
Yeah, they're allowed to have advertising, I think, starting this year from the baseball, Major League Baseball.
It represents the star pitcher the Twins have been unable to acquire since Johan Santana left.
What company? What company would have a star on it? I suppose it's kind of hard to take away the whole Target thing from them because they've been so important to them. But
if they just ripped the North Stars logo on a baseball uniform, I would actually be down for that.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that the Wild is still putting out retro North Stars uniforms. They are not your franchise. That franchise is in Dallas. Stop doing it. You look stupid. This is not like the Minneapolis Lakers and the Los Angeles Lakers. One became the other. It's the same franchise. The North Stars have nothing to do with you. Stop it. Stop using those uniforms to sell to these poor hockey saps.
Have the Timberwolves ever done the Minneapolis Lakers branding?
Yes.
Did they try that once?
Are they allowed to? A few years ago.
Well, they put George's statue in the lobby, but that was for more to show Minnesota.
And the Lakers, in like Kobe's last year, did a branding that was a Lakers ode.
It was like a baby blue, kind of a situation. Okay.
Well, anyway, what are you boys suspecting from our Gopher football team? Are they going to show up Saturday? Is this the big reset? And I see this is their playoff drive. They're calling it.
Is it? Okay.
If they win the last 5.
I can tell you which one of us 4 will happily be not watching the game on Saturday. If I'm at a bar during the window in which the Gophers play, I will turn to a different television excitedly.
The local beat writers have had some great stuff this week on the production of the wide receivers. Unbelievable. They caught 3 passes Saturday, and I'm never running open. Apparently they can't.
And I get, like, in fairness, you did lose your best receiver to start the year, and now you've lost your starting quarterback, but you also have years and years to recruit and build and bring guys in. And I didn't realize someone put out, I think it was, I can't remember which of the Gopher platforms it was, but someone went back like the last 3 or 4 years and just looked at the recruiting rankings for the Gophers. They had a couple nice little years, and there's been some nice players come in, but they've been kind of a disaster recruiting the last 3 years.
Yeah, they were. Now, if you look at on3.com, which I like because it doesn't give you automatic 3 stars if you're a big school. Most of them, if Minnesota recruited him, he's a 3-star, right? So it ends up On3 will give basically somebody a 0, if they're terrible. But the Gophers were high in that one in 29th 2 years ago and 55th last year and 50th so far this year. So something's happened the last 2 years. I don't know.
The minute you put your stamp and say, you know what, all right, I'm okay with PJ Fleck. They haven't won a game since.
No, that is not true. They beat Michigan State. I wrote it on.
Oh, you beat the buzzer.
Thursday.
Okay.
I wrote it on Thursday because I said they're going to beat Michigan State.
Okay.
I thought they were good, and then they kicked their ass. So.
And then you made no promises beyond that.
Well, no, I didn't suspect this. I must say, I did not suspect that they would go out and get 10 points against a terrible Purdue defense. I did not suspect that. No.
And did you see the 2023 schedule that came out yesterday?
Yes.
Look who's back.
It's a little tougher. We got, Michigan back. Right?
Michigan here and Ohio State in Columbus.
This is where old PJ might back channel to another opportunity, potentially. if they can salvage like an
Ohio
8-win
State's
season.
on the schedule too. Oh,
In Columbus, yes.
Well,
Yeah, the cupcake schedule over.
Yeah, but they do. I was thinking this was a year when they had 5 Big Ten home games, but next year they have 5 Big Ten home games. It's 4 and 5 this year because I looked at it and I said they're going to have 6 road games or 6 home games next year. But I was wrong. I thought this year they had them, but yeah, this was. You talked about it, Phil. Everybody did. This was the year, baby. This was the year. The West was sitting there like a big old pumpkin pie, baby.
And it still is. I mean, right? I mean, let me pull up the standings.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because I'm pretty sure everyone has lost a bunch of games.
Well, no, one is. I think Illinois only has 1, right? Illinois only has 1.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, you're right. Illinois. So Illinois. My God, Illinois is going to play in the Big Ten championship game.
Yep.
You think Brett's?
Wow.
You think Brett's 3 yards in a cloud of sod is going to work very well against Ohio State? Wow.
How about that? So Illinois.
In retrospect, you don't want the Gophers to play in the Big Ten championship game. You don't want this team to go play Ohio State. It's good. It'll be a joke. It'll be 60-14 because Ohio State keeps getting better every week.
Illinois has Michigan.
Huh?
I said Illinois has Michigan, but otherwise they're probably going to win out. So yeah, there's no way at this point.
I got people mad at me about 3 weeks ago after watching one of Justin Fields' efforts, and I said if he was still at Ohio State, he would not be the starting quarterback. Stroud is way better than he is, and people say, "Oh no, he'd be the starter." Blah blah blah. No.
You mean like 2 years into the NFL version of Justin Fields? Or
yes, the guy right now would not be the starting quarterback at Ohio State.
I love that take
right now.
It's a great take.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's accurate.
Now Judd and Declan take notes. That's a guy who knows what a hot take is right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
And Arizona coming to town with the little quarterback, but they were terrible again, White, for over a half on Sunday, and then they few screw ups. How about a division like the NFC West, where the hottest guy in the division is Geno Smith? What the hell is going on? What is out there in Seattle, Phil? What is the explanation for Geno being good? What is
there really is? Well, there is none. I think my explanation, and we've talked about this a little bit on Purple Daily, is we bail so quickly on quarterbacks that sometimes it might just take a guy like 4 or 5 years of playing in the NFL to figure it out, but you don't get that anymore. So if you're Geno Smith and you came up with the Jets, kind of a train wreck organization, you weren't that good for a couple years, now you're a backup, and then he really didn't get much of he got a couple spot starts here and there, but he wasn't given a chance to, all right, you're going to start this year again. And now he's like 32 years old. He's been around for a decade. So
he didn't, he was a guy that they made play almost right away, like halfway through his first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
He might have been a slow learner. Who knows? But Pete Carroll kept saying, yeah, Geno's going to be our quarterback. And we were all going, what? What? How can you do this? How can this be possible? And it's kind of a good story. I haven't read enough about him. Is he supposed to be a good guy?
Yeah.
I mean, they like him out there. So
yeah, they do. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this quote, you guys, but George Payton, he came out and said that Nathaniel Hackett is facing an unprecedented level of scrutiny by the media. He's upset that the media is going too hard at Nathaniel Hackett.
And by him, too, because he's going to fire him if they lose Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you don't want to face a lot of heat as a new coach, don't do something incredibly stupid in your first ever game, right? Then, because NFL fans are not patient. They're drunk. They don't want you to screw up that bad right away in a game you're supposed to win and, be completely overmatched. So, it is George. You're right. George is probably going to have to fire him. And has anybody ever gotten fired in their first season as an NFL coach?
Yeah, it's happened.
I remember. So I was trying to think of that because a lot of guys that got blown out after 1 year, but in their first year, the only one that came to mind was Holtz with the Jets.
Yeah.
Who was the coach
Urban Meyer.
Who was the coach that Zimmer with the Falcons called a gutless turd? He called him Petrino quit.
But that wasn't his
But
first.
You're right on Meyer.
Was that his first year?
I thought it was.
I think it was, yeah. I think Declan's right.
College, yeah. And Urban got fired for having co-ed sit on it.
But I'm just saying just the incompetence of coaching.
Yeah.
Meyer was that and a really bad guy. Mm-hmm. By all accounts, Hackett's a real good guy. He just can't coach.
Yeah. Well, and his daddy always had much less success when he became a head coach than he did as an offensive coordinator.
Some people are born to be coordinators.
That is true. But I don't know. What are we going to do with the Vikings, baby? What are we going to do if they're like 10-1? You know what? How is this possible? I don't get it. But you look around and who's going to beat them? Speaking of easy schedules, they got 9 home games and 7 road games. You know, and they've already won the neutral site game, and they've a bunch of home games left. It's it is sitting there big. So.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be a real disappointing loss when they play that first home playoff game. I'll tell you that.
We can maybe talk more Vikings with you tomorrow. Bring your hottest Vikings take tomorrow.
Okay, I'm gonna investigate it a little more and
decide
who we should be the most excited about and who we should still be doubtful about.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
I like it. Up and down.
Bye.
All right, see you, Pat. All right, wrapping with Reusse, presented by Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for a long time, over 100 years of experience and expertise guiding businesses through risk management tools and resources. They're here to help maximize your business. So find out the work and the help that they can bring to your business at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.